Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. So today's video, we're going to talk about parents are starting to fight back against this transitioning transgender garbage. A lot of parents are starting to be fed up, are starting to become fed up, with this transitioning crap that's going on with their kids. There's been so many cases of kids now wanting to detransition that those numbers are starting to go up. So now where kids were detransitioning from before, those numbers are starting to skyrocket because we have so many kids thinking or believing they want to transition, but they don't, meaning transition to the opposite sex. So we got boys who want to be girls, and we got girls who want to be boys. And then we got those who stand in the middle and just don't want to be identified as anything. All of those three categories are starting to come back to their correct gender, which is what they were born as, male, female. That's it. It's the only two choices you got in this life, guys. Unless you're hermaphrodite, and that's like few, far, and super in between. Anyway, but with that, guys, parents are fighting back. And parents are no longer sitting by and letting their kids dictate to them their sexuality or their gender. So, like, some parents are like, okay, you know, Derek, you're gay? Okay, fine. Oh, wait, Derek, you want to be a girl now? No, we're not doing this shit. We're going to put our foot down, and we're going to say no. You're going to have to wait till you're 18, 21, whatever it is, or till you're out of this house. So parents are starting to make that stance. And the craziness about it is, when parents take that stand and a few years go by, the kids change their minds. So now they don't have to deal with detransitioning, because detransitioning, guys, is almost as dangerous, if not as dangerous, as transitioning, because you have to reverse a lot of problems now in the body, especially if you put them on hormone blockers. Hormone blockers, I'm going to do a separate video on that, are super dangerous. They always have been. There's never been correct research on hormone blockers. And so when people decided to put their kids on hormone blockers without the sufficient research or data, now these guys are growing up and they're starting to have problems. And one of the problems, the major problems, is for men, is that sperm count is non-existent and testosterone is at an all-time low. In a lot of cases, they have to take T-shots, testosterone shots, to boost their testosterone. Go fucking figure. The other thing about blockers, or hormone blockers, it's also creating cancer. Testicular cancer was one that I read, but there's other cancers that's developing in it as well, especially brain cancer. So again, guys, not enough research, a lack of research in it, and now kids are turning into adults, and now they're coming down with ailments that they shouldn't be coming down with, especially early in age. Now, parents are doing the right things. They're fighting back, because one story that led a mother on a crusade to fight back was her daughter went to college and came back this disgruntled fucking thing. She didn't know what the fuck it was that came back from college. Well, her daughter was taking hormonal blockers, and if I'm not mistaken, had her breasts removed, and the mother was horrified by the whole thing. She was like, what the fuck? You never talked to us about it, this, and the third. So come to find out, the college professor, I want to say professors with an S, plural, but it seemed like there was one who was involved in the daughter detransitioning. And the professor told the child, which she was 18 at the time, so I'm not sure if you want to call it a child, was like, you don't have to tell your parents. This could be entirely up to you. This is your decision. So she comes back home. The mother's fucking pissed off. Now the daughter is on a better track now, because the daughter had a talk with the mother, had to see a psychiatrist, the whole 9 yards, and it comes to find out that there were a lot of underlying issues that were not being addressed. And because it was an underlying issue, there were a lot of underlying issues that weren't being addressed, this kid was crying out for help. Now that the kid's getting help, now everything's better. Now, as far as the breast being removed, women can put them back, but that's another entirely different procedure to get that back, because you got to inflate skin, you got to do all this crazy shit. So again, that's an issue. That's an issue in itself too, when they tell you, oh, there was a lady, matter of fact, there was a lady a doctor, a professor. She said the same shit. She's like, oh, well, if she wants to, transition back to being a woman, it's fine because they can just put breast implants. It's not that simple. Once you cut off the breast and you give the appearance of a flat chest, to put breasts back in, you have to inflate that skin and or put them on hormonal therapy to get that growing again and then put implants in. It's an entire procedure to get breasts back when you naturally had them before cutting them off. So now there are parents out there that are starting groups, and these groups out here, guys, are against transitioning kids. Not to be confused with, what is it called? Transphobia, right? So it's not transphobic at all. What they're doing is they're creating groups to try to help kids not transition at an early age. And if they want to transition as an adult, it's on them. But the problem is, guys, a lot of parents see this as a trend. That's it. And this is a dangerous trend. This is not some fucking, this isn't some minor, bullshit. When you start putting kids on puberty blockers, you're talking about all kinds of problems that can come down the road. Forget about chopping dicks off and which, again, you chop a dick off, you're never getting that back. And chopping breast off, forget about all that shit. Hormonal blockers have cancer-causing problems or agents in them, right? And this is now starting to come out. A lot of studies, I think there was a study either out of England or France, came out finding out that hormone blockers can cause cancer and you have a higher rate, at developing cancer taking hormonal blockers. This is the big problem because, again, these are the same people, by the way, that don't want hormonal injections in cows. They want their cows to be organic. They want their cows to be fresh, but they want to pump hormone blockers in their kids. Go fucking figure. But anyway, now listen, guys, we all grew up with trends, right? Fucking bad 80s hair trend, the baggy pants trend, my kids' generation with the pants hanging off their ass trend. Those are all trends that die. But this trend, the transgender trend, it's an irreversible trend at a certain point. If your kid wants to be transgender now, you can sort of talk him out of it. But if your kid wants his dick cut off and has it done, and then goes, man, I regret that, after they turn 18, 19, 20 years old, that's irreversible. Hormonal blockers are turning out to be irreversible as well. There was a guy, my fault, it was a guy who was transitioning using hormonal blockers. The hormonal blockers stopped everything in its track. He stopped taking hormonal blockers when he was like 21 or 22. He's now a 33-year-old man that looks like a 21-year-old girl with a soft voice, flat chest, obviously, because it's a guy, and he has a soft look to him because he was taking hormonal blockers since he was a teenager. So again, stops everything in his track, guys, and that's the danger. Even if you get kids off of hormonal blockers, obviously, if you do it sooner than later, they'll have a better outcome. But if you do it later in life, you have a soft-looking fucking boy now because the hormonal blockers completely transformed him and stopped him from turning into a man. Now, are there therapies out there to reverse that? I don't know. And I can almost honestly say, I don't think so. I don't think there is. I don't think there's enough out there because once you block these things for good, now you're dealing with other chemicals to force the body to start developing testosterone and things like that that are needed to become a man. So, listen, guys, parents are fighting back. This is a good thing. People are done with this shit. Actually, people started fighting back probably about a year or two ago. And now parents are pissed because schools are indoctrinating this shit into the kids, and kids are coming home being like, I want you to call me Sarah, and I think I want to start taking hormonal blockers. The fuck you are. My kid come home and tell me I want to start taking hormonal blockers. I'm like, do me a favor, go back outside of the door. Let's do this again because I want to make sure I heard what I heard. And I said, and if you repeat that and I hear this again, you're getting a beating. Like a thorough beating. Not some like fucking, a nice fucking waka right across the fucking face. Because kids, now, that's like my response. Would I respond to that in real life? No. what I would do is start showing my son or my daughter what hormonal blockers would do to you. Before the surgery part, let's talk about the damaging things that hormonal blockers can do. That's how I would approach it. As far as beating them, no, because beating them isn't the answer. I was joking about it, obviously, but beating isn't the answer, because you don't want to anger them into doing this out of spite, because that's what a lot of kids are going to do. A lot of kids will do this shit out of spite. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, oh, by the way, yeah, I'm still headed to the airport because this is a 2-hour trek from Sedona. So if you guys are interested in going to Sedona, just know that you got to land in Phoenix and drive 2 hours out to Sedona, which is completely fucking worth it, if you ask me. Anyway, guys, later.